2,400 meters. Runners sent on their way from the 2,400. Belle of Paris, an early leader. Depositions right there. Sea Sponge near the rail. I Fly. I Fly is strong near the rail. Then comes Keelan Dynasty with the white headgear before noon. Pay Back the Money's further back in the run. Then comes Clara. They're starting to stretch out. Impact Zone, Crime Victim and Prince Ardent. On the bright side's the trailer, and it's racing about 12-13 lengths off the leader. It's an awkward race into that turn, and Belle of Paris is the leader. In second, Deposition, Sea Sponge. There goes Keelan Dynasty. Keelan Dynasty's going wide out around them to be more prominent. And then comes I Fly. At this stage, Pay Back the Money's racing about 7 or 8 lengths off the leader. They really stretched out now. There's about 20 lengths from top to tail. On the outside of that is Clara. Before noon is further back in the run. Then comes Impact Zone. Further back in the run is Prince Ardent and then Crime Victim. They really stretched out about 15, 16 lengths. And the leader now, Keelan Dynasty. In second is Belle of Paris. Sea Sponge on the outside. Deposition, the orange cap, is back in fourth. They're followed by I Fly. Then there's a breakaway to Pay Back the Money before noon. That's about 10, 11 lengths off the leader. Clara's further back in the run, and they stretched out now 15, 16 lengths towards the 800-meter marker they go. Then comes On the Bright Side. Further back in the run, Impact Zone, Crime Victim. As they move to the 700, Keelan Dynasty by 2. Sea Sponge, Belle of Paris. Deposition, then I Fly, 4 lengths away, then to Pay Back the Money. Before noon, Impact Zone. Then comes Clara On the Bright Side. Down the inside, Crime Victim and Prince Ardent. Top of the lane and Keelan Dynasty still the leader. Sea Sponge is about to move in. Depositions on the outside. Behind that, Before Noon. Down on the inside, Crime Victim tries to get into the race. I Fly on the outside. Pay Back the Money. The leader is still Keelan Dynasty. But Before Noon's a big runner. Crime Victim's on the inside. And Pay Back the Money's trying to come now at Before Noon. Before Noon is tough and Pay Back the Money. They get to the line. Before Noon won it. Second, Pay Back the Money. A wall of them involved for third and fourth. Number 2, Before Noon, will win it. At 480, will just hold on. Number 3, Pay Back the Money, comes back for more. Before Noon, Pay Back the Money, getting to the line. Before Noon just makes it. Number 2. Second, number 3, Pay Back the Money. Then there's a breakaway of 4 lengths, Impact Zone and I Fly. I Fly is third, Impact Zone fourth. Crime Victim, Sea Sponge, Keelan Dynasty, Deposition, and further back was On the Bright Side. Tote favourite number 3, and that's Pay Back the Money on the extreme right-hand side, and Before Noon. These are the two fighting it out. Before Noon and Pay Back the Money, but Before Noon will just make it home. Look at the difference in size there. A big Pay Back the Money from the smaller Before Noon, and Before Noon will win it by that head or so. That's the running of the 7th race. There's still an 8th to come. Back to the studio.
For trainer Sean Terry, Luke Ferraris, well done to the tar wheel, Sean Terry Racing, and this individual showing that 2400, no problem for him. Lorenzo, well done, a good win for the source over this trip.
Thanks, Deez. Obviously the trip was a question mark. Must just say all credit goes to him. I mean, he dug down deep, and I mean, Luke gave him a patient ride, and he finished off well.
He's a horse that's in good form, and he seems to be enjoying it here in KZN as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's holding his form well. I mean, we can't fault him. And obviously, I don't know what the boss's plan is with him now. But that I'll leave up to him.
Well, it's fair to say that, this is your, last week with the stable?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but Sean's closing up shop?
Time being, I don't know what his plan is, but he'll be back.
Well, in the short space of time that you've been with him, you've had a wonderful run, haven't you?
No, Deez, I picked up so much from him. It was a learning curve as well. And I mean, just thank you to Mr. Terry as well.
Well, all the best wherever you position next, Lorenzo, but give our best to Sean as well, and well done with this win.
Thank you, Deez.
Well done to you, Sean, wherever you're watching. Your horse has done you proud here to win over this distance. And what a ride from Luke, because he was going the trip for the first time, and I thought it was a peach of a ride, maybe ride of the day as well. We've had some great finishes, but this was an exciting one for us to watch. Yeah, talk us through it. There seem to be two different races, the 4 horses in front and a gap, and then the rest of the bunch.
Yeah, there was. The pace was on, which I think suited him a little bit. But either way, he switches off and he completely falls asleep. And as soon as you ask him, he starts to pick it up, and that's what he did today. So a big thank you to the connections, Mr. Tay and Mr. Tal, for all the support and the opportunity.
He seemed to enjoy the fight as well, because the other horse came at you, but he didn't want to let down.
Yeah, 100%. When he came into the straight, I sort of eased him into it. And when I really got behind him and got going, he gave me 100%.
Well, it's one on the board for you. You got a ride at the back?
Yeah, I got one coming up for Mr. Van Zel. I worked her back at home, and she feels like a decent filly. So we're hoping for the best.
Well, all the best to this individual, and keep up the good work, young Luke.
Thank you. Another big thank you to all the boys behind the scene who really put in the hard work. To Lorenzo, who got him 100% spot on today. Thank you.
Well played.
Thank you.
Lovely. I'm going to get the name right. I'm almost certain I'm going to get it right. But I remember the story. Ma'am went to visit the in-laws in Howick. Correct?
That's correct.
Is it Garth?
That's right.
I got it
The
right.
horse's name is Before Noon, not Before Dawn.
Is it? Who said that?
You.
No, it could never be me.
Go back and check the replay.
Okay, Garth. Before dawn, before noon. Apologies for before dawn. Well, nice having you in town again.
Yeah, it is great. Unfortunately, in the interim, since he won last, my mother-in-law passed away.
Well, condolences.
Thank you. And so this is a fitting closure to a chapter. And I'm sure she was watching over us and certainly watching over the horse. Bring it home today.
2400 first time. He's seemed to handle that with flying colours.
He did. Sean did say he was well back at home. And if he stayed, then he had a winning chance.
What an honest horse. 19 runs, 5 wins, 7 places.
Yeah, he's done us proud. And, as I said, the last time he came back from a really bad injury. And to come back and win like he has, it's very satisfying because it's a tough game. And you have a lot of lows. This is one of the highs. And well done to Sean, to Ricardo, to Luke, and everybody at home who's done a really good job with this horse.
How was that ride?
It was fantastic. We were watching it, and Ricardo said, he just needs to stay patient. The pace was on, and we know he kicks. And coming into the straight when he hooked him wide, we knew he had a lot of horse under him.
God, you know when to make the right trip down to KZN, don't you?
Yeah, we've been fortunate. We've been down 3 times, and we've had 3 wins.
Correct. Well played, yeah. Condolences on the sad passing away of your mum, ma'am.
Thank you. But she's with us today, so thanks.
And this horse has done you proud again.
Very much so, and we're very proud of him.
What's the plan now? Is it a slow drive back home, or are you going to stay the evening?
We're staying the evening, flying back tomorrow.
Well, God, to yourself and your Mrs. Hearty, congratulations.
Thanks, Deez. Much appreciated.
And it's called?
Before Noon.
Okay, guys, Before Noon has come to win. Luke wants to say a last word. He wants to get something in. Come to Luke.
Sorry, another big thank you to my sponsors, Aventure. Sorry.
I saw that now. When did all that happen? I actually saw it on social media. You signed up a contract with Pippa.
Yes, big thank you to Pippa. She's my sponsor, and I'm very grateful to be part of their team now, and look forward to it.
You got the gear yet? The caps and the breeches and everything else?
We've got the breeches, the caps are on their way, but yeah, really looking forward to it.
Well, it's a sponsorship that have had many great jockeys ride their colours, including 2 champions in Delpesh and Hewitson. So you got big boots to fill there.
I hope so.
Well done, Luke.
Thank you.
Okay, well done to Luke Ferraris. And 2, 3, 6, and 1 is the way they cross the line here. Race number 7. 1 more to go. Closing off the place accumulator and pick 6. Up next, race number 8.